foremost to Smiths. Thank you to Rabbi and Gila Smith for just so much. I don't know yet exactly, and I'm noticing that I don't know yet, and the more I notice, the more humbled I get, and the more humbled I get, the more stupid I sound every time I speak to Gila. But I just want to say thank you to them for caring enough about the Jewish people to constantly be on their game and wanting to do more and help more and spread more. So this is all them. So thank you. The second person I want to introduce here is Yael. Yael, say hi. She's the pretty girl behind the video camera. Yael is the backbone of the organization. She does all the technical stuff. She does all the accounting and all the work and all the legwork and all of that. I don't really know what Yael does, but I know that she works very closely with Rabbi Smith, and he gives her a lot of things to do. And sometimes she sounds like she's going to explode. So that's Yael. She's here, and she's going to be here with us throughout the year. So whoever's sitting on the couch,
I was already kicked off the couch. If I can't sit there, you guys are not.
Thank you. She's so loyal of you, Yael. So loyal. Oh, Rick, yeah.
China lost herself.
Leah, that was low. China lost herself again.
Well, Shana would also do the same. It was well deserved. It's okay.
So,
Are you close?
and thank you to you. Thank you for welcoming me so nicely, so nicely, beyond expectations at all. I've never gone anywhere that I was like so wrapped up with like so much good words, good vibes, good food, direction, help. So much help I needed this week, and I got it. Thank you so much. I was always like living somewhere in like the ghetto somewhere, and like no one keep my door locked and whatever. But since I've been in the States, Far Rockaway, Bayswater, the ghetto. So, but here it's like amazing, and you guys have been amazing. And I'm looking forward to being your neighbor and being your friend. So thank you, and sending my kids on the bus with yours. So tonight's topic is a very big topic, and when I was preparing it, I was crying a lot, and I was feeling a lot, and I was thinking like whenever that happens, when I prepare, it's usually going to be an amazing talk, an amazing evening. Because it's real and it's deep and it's meaningful, and we all want real, deep, and meaningful. I think we're all at a stage, I think in general, the generation that we're in today, people are sick and tired of nonsense and same old. People want real, people want things that will really change their life, that will really help them to be happy for real. To wake up in the morning and be excited to be alive and be excited about my life, regardless of whether it's going in the direction that I wanted to go in or not. And I think we're all very much there. And it makes so much sense when it says it says in the Gemara that when the Tanaim looked at Dor Mashiach, when they started Dor Mashiach because they had Nevuah, and they were able to look at a bunch of generations down the line, and they saw the generation that was going to greet Mashiach, they said, wow, we don't want to be one of them. We don't want to be one of those people that are going to be in that generation, because it's going to be rough and it's going to be tough. And what's rough and tough nowadays is that, in my opinion, is that it's very hard to find realness. And realness is not something that is cared about or looked up to or followed on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything. And tonight's talk is really going to be about how to pay attention to that part of ourselves, which is us. Before I start, I just want to say, I'm going to start. So I'm just going to say, first of all, we're on Facebook Live. Hi, Facebook Live. We are. Not we. Not me. Yes. Shauna's fixing her hair. Yes. And before I really start, I just must say that Mickey, thank you so much. Mickey's been she was like, yes, of course. I called her like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, of course, yes. And she just flew back this morning, and kids didn't go to camp, so thank you so much. It's beautiful and it's amazing. Okay, so let's begin. Years ago, many years ago, I was just getting a sneak peek into spirituality. Didn't know at all about anything spiritual, right? I never heard of Hashem, never heard of God, never heard of anything that is beyond here, this, and now, right? We very much we were raised thinking and knowing that you are your successes, right? Whatever you're successful at, that's what you are, and that's it, and that's it. And the message was always the subliminal messages were always, wherever I went, in my family, outside of my family, in school, wherever I was always kind of like survival of the fittest. You make it to the top, and you do whatever it takes to get there. You don't take people's feelings into account. You do whatever it takes to get to the top, because that's what life is about, right? It's a jungle out there, and you gotta make it to the top. And so I went to Israel. I went to Israel for seminary, and when I came back from seminary in the middle of the year, I came back because my parents' house was not going to be kosher for Pesach. And from when I was 12 years old till when I was 18 years old, I was doing all of the Pesach and koshering and covering and throwing out, and I was like Rabbi Berkowitz's book, like every ingredient, and all of myself. My family thought I was, I'm not going to say because it's not nice, okay? And they would just be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And everything was covered in silver foil, and everything was thrown out, and everything was like, they gave me the space to do it, but like I was insane. I was really the only one that was doing it, preparing the whole house for Pesach, and they were like, okay. Anyway, it was the time I came back from seminary in the middle of the year. I borrowed money from a friend, and I was like, I have to go kasher my parents' house. I came back to the States, to New York, kashered their house, and mid-cleaning, I was sitting with my sister, who I'm very, very close to, and she is like super beautiful, and at the time was an FIT. I was always like the younger one, you know. She was like always the most popular, the most loved, or like a million boyfriends. I told you about the part where like boys are looking at and trees outside of the house. Did I tell you this?
No.
Okay, so we had a tree. We had a tree outside of our house, and a big tree, a large tree, and there would be guys like climbing up the tree to like see her. And like every time there was a phone call, you know, like the type of, like there's a phone call and there was no cell phones. So whenever there was a phone call, I would run and get it. I was a little one. I would always run and get it. Yes, exactly.
Creepy.
Very creepy. Yes. So I would run and get it, and every single time it was, hi Shirley, hi Shirley, hi Shirley. I was like, okay, I'm never ever going to pick up the phone because it's always for her. She always, like, the most popular, the most beautiful, was an FIT. Her boyfriends would like buy her cars and send her to Italy and whatever. Okay? When they would want her to come and like go out with them to the city, they would send her limousines downstairs. We still laugh about it. I'm like, remember when the limousines used to come pick you up? She's like, yeah. So that was my sister, and I was always like in her shadow, you know, a little bit always in her shadow, because she was so much. She was like larger than life, so beautiful, and so popular, and so everything, right? And I was like this, like, Balish Tua. My stance button was closed. I was white as white comes. She was like tan, pretty, and like, you know, some like her skin was always shiny. You know those girls? And anyway, so, and like I was like, you know, one of these like mid-afternoons when I was like cleaning, Mr. Clean in hand, Windex in hand, top button closed, cleaning the house type, and Biscuit. Remember Biscuits? Or are you all too young? You do?
Yeah. They came back for a while.
You did? I love them. I love them. I will bring them back. I will bring them back. Shut up. Oh, my dead body. So it was breakfast. It was like morning time, afternoon time, and we sat together and we were drinking coffee. So this is like the very first time or the second time she ever really confided in me, you know. And she was like, I don't know I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, why, what's bothering you? And she said, I have everything, you know? I'm like, I have money, and I have a boyfriend that loves me, and I'm doing really well and everything, and everything is good. But I just feel like hollow inside. Hollow, empty. And I said, why do you feel empty? She's like, I don't know why I feel empty. I have no idea why I feel empty. And I'm telling you that, like, the all-American dream, the body, the guy, the money, the school, the popularity, all of it, the girl never suffered from pimples. She never suffered from a bad hair day. She never suffered from, like you know, like the commercials where she wakes up in the morning and she's just perfect, and you're like, yeah, right, that's what it is there. So, and she was like, I'm feeling hollow. And basically at that point I said to her, of course you're feeling hollow. Because 50% of you is anorexic, so you're hungry, you're starving. She's like, what are you talking about? Anyway, a long time has passed since, and she's in a Baruch Hashem, on a whole different journey today, realizing that yesterday she sent me a text message. I started crying. Sent me a text message. Pray for me that one day I'll get to Uman. That was me. I'm like, oh, you made me cry. And she's like, I'm just feeling it. And Baruch Hashem, she keeps Shabbos. She's married to from guy. She was like very, very. We have all our spiritual hour-long talks together. But the idea is, and this is what we're talking about tonight, self-love. What does it mean to love ourselves? Really? What does it mean to really love ourselves? And I think that it's very obvious that the world makes it very clear that when you love yourself, you do what makes you happy. You know? Do what makes you happy. Because that's what the world tells us. Just do what makes you happy. Don't think about anyone else and don't think about anything else. Just do what makes you happy. And if you have it, flaunt it. And if you got it, show it. Because that's what you are. You got to do what makes you happy. And it's we're so brainwashed. For sure me, I grew up watching TV, being very, very, very secular, seeing it all over the place today, which is the message is very, very clear. Whatever you want, go after it. Go after whatever you want and do what makes you happy. Now, part of that is real and part of that is not real. Let's just break it down for a second and understand what it really means to be happy or to love yourself. So, you know, like I have this like parenting thing that I'm always like battling in my mind. Like, are my kids gonna grow? Am I gonna screw my kids up? Like for real? Because like as much as you know about child raising, like come on. You're always thinking, and every single one of us for sure, every mom walks away like, okay, this child is going to be in therapy, right? Because I'm messing this child up, because I'm having a hard day, because I am not feeling well, because my husband said this and did that, because we don't have enough money, because I'm stressed out, and this child doesn't go away, and doesn't leave me alone, and is making me insane, and I don't know what to do, and then the child says something, and you're like, right? And you give it to them. Or you do something, and then you walk away, and you regret it, and then you come back when they're sleeping, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad, please God, please, child shouldn't be so messed up when they get old. Right? I don't want to screw up this child's soul, right? And what happens with these kids? These kids, they're like, I'll just give an example of a child, a very typical example. You want to make your kids happy, so you take them out and you do things for them. And what do you want to eat, sweetheart? Oh, you want pizza? Oh, you want french fries? Oh, you want chicken nuggets? Oh, what do you want today? Oh, you want that toy? Fine, let's save up and we'll get you that toy. Okay, for your birthday. Or where do you want to go today? And we take them to amusement parks and we take them to these game places and we do all these different things with them and we really try to make them happy and we bring them tutors and we sit with them, we send them to the best schools and we really, really, really try to fill their every need. And that one moment we don't want them to have too much screen time, so we take them out and we're tired and we're exhausted and we're hungry because it's 4 o'clock and we forgot to eat. Yeah. Right? But we're still like, we don't want them to watch so much, so we take them out and we do things with them and we go to the park with them and we're just constantly trying to like feed this kid and like make sure that this kid is happy and healthy and normal and will get the life that we want them to have. And then how many times has this happened when you walk out of an arcade or you walk out of a museum or you walk out of the pool or you walk out of like the JCC or you walk out of taking your kids to Great Adventures or wherever, okay? And they're like, so bored. Gosh. Ma, there's nothing to do. I don't want this food. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. No, it's boring. No. And then you're like, 1 second. 5 seconds ago, you were like swinging off a thing and you were having the best time. I just took a picture of you and you look like you're having the best. What is your problem, right? And we get like, what's the deal? What do we do? What?
Always.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm trying to go. Always, and it's like a never-ending thing. It's like, imagine like this like wide open jaw, okay, and you're constantly throwing like food, fun, games, toys, trips, vacations, adventures. It's like a never-ending like open mouth, right? And it's like it's never satiated. It's never full. It's never full. And then you're just like, go. Oh, hi, adoption agency. Hi. We have a very cute one here. Bye. Right? Like, and then there's all this guilt stuff comes up, like, what's wrong with me? And like, I yelled at them, and like all this stuff, right? It's really complicated. So this is awesome. And if you get this, and if we are able to like understand this, hopefully, and like reiterate it in our minds, like this is like, you know what I call these classes, like these get-togethers, these women get-togethers, and like that we like remind ourselves and refresh things in our minds. You know when you're in the pool and you're swimming in the pool and then you kick off the wall, and that gives you that like momentum, and then you can start swimming, and you have more of like a thing when you're swimming, right? That's what these classes are. These classes are like, they're not just meant to like inspire, entertain, and whatever. It's meant to like give us information, like hardcore information in like 40 minutes, and walk out and we have to chew on it, and chew on it, and chew on it, and chew on it, and then like figure out how it applies to my life, to my kids, to myself, to my marriage. Like we have to. And then once we do, life upgrades. We get an upgrade. And it happens. And that's how we grow. And that's how life gets better. Because life can never get better by just doing the same old. Oh, I got a new shade though. Oh, we went on a vacation. Oh, those things don't like, they don't feed. What feeds is the getting the information, the downloading the information to our minds, the figuring out, applying it to my life, the doing it, and seeing how life unfolds in a different way. Because that's how it happens. That's the formula. Everything has a formula. Everything has a formula. You want a tree to grow, you put this in the ground, you have to do this, you have to have this, That's how it happens. Ricky, my good friend here, bought me an orchid the other day, and I was reading the instructions, and you have to put 3 cubes of ice every 2 weeks. Ricky, what happened when you fed your plant?
Killed it.
She killed it. Sorry, orchid. It was dead. So why? What did you do?
Too much water.
Way too much water. 3 cubes of ice for 2 weeks, and then it lasts. Why? Because there's a formula to everything. So this orchid needs that, and that plant needs this, and this marriage needs that, and that needs that, and me, have a formula too. We have a formula. And the thing is like this. So let me go here for a second. Let's take this kid, this rotten kid that we just like, love and hate at the same time, and put him on the side for a second. We'll get back to it because at the end of this talk, you're going to understand the ins and outs of what's the deal with how this works, why this happens. Okay, you ready? Everyone's here, everyone's alert? Okay, sit up. Okay, download time. Okay. Here's the formula. Formula is like this. This is Zohar. We are human beings, okay? Any human being. Now, if I was sitting in a classroom right now with a group of non-Jews, I would say the same thing, okay? Because human beings operate a certain way, and this is the formula of being a human. When I understand that, someone told me one time. She said to me, when I feel down and just like in the dumps, I go get a manicure. And I was like, really? What? And she said, what do you mean? I want to do something for myself. So I'm like, and how does that make you feel? I feel like a lady when I walk out. And then I'm like, okay, but so what happens to all the feelings of like in the dumps and the sad, like what happens to that? And she's just like, whatever, I deal with it. Right? There's like this concept of like, when you want to do something for yourself, So like when you're not feeling well or you're feeling angry, so you eat a pint of ice cream, you go shopping, you take your husband's credit card and you blow it. You do these things that like will make us feel better, right? And the idea is that we don't feel better. We feel better in the moment. We feel better while we're in the mall shopping and like just like spending all his money, because we got in a fight with him and we hate him right now. So we're spending all his money, iron, right? In Hebrew, and it's like I don't know how to swipe, right? We just swipe it everywhere, right? Because, right? But then yeah, we come home with our bags, and we come home with our clothes, and we come home with our things, and we had a great time, and we got our nails done, we got perhaps a new shaitel, perhaps a new whatever, right? And we come home, and we're still left with self. Self is still there. So what happens to us when we're in this mode is like what happens to the kid when he's in Adventureland. In Adventureland, he's like, yeah, right? And then when he comes out of Adventureland, he's still him. So then it's back to like, I'm bored, everything's awful, I hate you, right? When one of my children started telling me that they hate me, this was like a year ago, I almost fell off my chair. I was like, Mom, Ima, can I have ISIS? No, sweetheart, you can't have ISIS right now. I hate you! I was like, oh my god, I almost died. I had like a small heart attack and I almost died. I could not fathom how he can say that he hates me. I would never say to my mother that I hate her, ever. I couldn't understand how that's even a possibility, right? And then it happens, right? But 1 second, but we just spent the entire day together. We loved, we hung out, we kissed, we had a whole thing, right? And now you, like, what? Right? And here's how it comes together. And this is the crux of all of our life. Because when we're able to, like, be in a space of self-love, and we'll understand that in 4 minutes what self-love really is, then everything around us falls into a place of makes sense. Even if it's not working the way we want it to work and according to our script of what's good and what's right, and like, Hashem, hi, you made a mistake here, you're giving us parnasa problems, can you like redo that? It's a mistake, right? Each of us has a script. We have a script of what's good and what's bad, right? Like, Hashem, hi, I'm Devorah, hi. Yeah, you forgot to give me a husband. I think it's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. I get it. It's fine. I totally love you. We're so fine. We're so good. But do something about this, right? Because according to my script, it's like mother, father, children, happy, right? And then it's like, oh, what's this? What's this lopsided thing? And we all have a lopsided thing in our life, right? Whether it's money or health or marriage or relationships or kids, right? Like so many, it's like, and what happens to us is that we get totally sucked into the problems, right? And then we don't realize what's going on inside. We don't realize what's going on inside. So what do? We go shopping. We eat more. We eat. We just eat. We eat. Right? Because why? Because there's an emptiness. There's a void. There's an emptiness. There's a hollowness that we feel in our life. So we get another thing, and we get another thing, and we go out more. And if I just get a drink and I'll feel better. Or if I go party. Or if I had a nightlife, for goodness sakes. Or if I had a life. If I just had a life. Right? Aside from home and kids. Like then I would feel better. Right? And that's what the whole world is doing. 10 minutes from here. 10 minutes from here. Drive down to South Beach. Everyone, you see them. You see the look in their eye. They're all looking for something. You see it. When I lived in Rehavia in Yerushalayim, Motzei Shabbos, I would look at people's eyes. No one would look at each other. Everyone would just like be walking down the street looking for it. Like, so the seminary girls were like going to froyo, because that's what they do, right? And the yeshiva guys were like meeting all in like the pool hall, and, like getting cigarettes and like whatever, right? And like, you know, the more secular people were like going clubbing and looking for drugs, and like everyone like looking to fill this hole, this emptiness. And what I mean by hole and emptiness, if you are a human being, you have a hole. If you are a human being, you have a hole. The Zohar calls it koach hamekabel. Every single one of us was born with a koach hamekabel. What is this koach hamekabel? That gigantic jaw that I was talking about before, that's wide open, that's always wanting more and more and more and more and more and more and more. That's how we're programmed. That's how we were born. That's why the world today is obsessed with upgrading. Like, I just got this phone, and when I got it a few months ago, it was like, oh, that's the best Galaxy thing. It's like S7. It was like, oh, thing. I just got it, okay? And I just got an offer yesterday for the new Galaxy S8. It's not, you can't even compare it to the S7. It's not even. Why is everything being upgraded so much so often? Like, you have a trend, you have a style, and like a month or 2 months later, it's a whole new thing. Why? If this is good, okay, let's take my phone for example. If this phone, the phone that he sold me, he told me that this was like the bomb, the best, can't get better than this. If this is really the best and the bomb, then why do we need to keep upgrading every single month? Because when people all of a sudden settle down and they get used to the old, they're looking for more. It fills us for like 5 minutes, it fills us for a month, it fills us for whatever, let's say a month. It's not even a month. After I had this phone for like 2 weeks, it was like old news. Right? It fills us for like a little bit. When you get something new, it's whatever, it's exciting, and then afterwards you pick up your head and you start looking for more new things. Because that's our drive, that's how we are. So here's the formula. We're a body and we're a soul. The soul part of us I'm talking about right now, it's called a nefesh. It's very deep. The Zohar goes into many, many explanations of what a nefesh really is. But you have a nefesh inside of you, and I have a nefesh inside of me, and every human living thing has a nefesh inside of them. What is our nefesh? It's our life force. It's the thing that makes you move and think and want and desire. The thing that is all your aspirations come from, your dreams come from. It's what makes you you. It's your uniqueness. It's your personality. It's your character. It's what sets you aside from everyone else. It's what makes you you. There is no one on this planet ever that was you, that will be you, that has ever walked you. You are the only you on this planet. Ever. Ever. In time. There's one of your nefesh on this planet. And in order to really be a person that is happy, growing, meaning evolving on the inside, really expanding, feeling alive, not feeling like I need stuff to be alive. I need a drug to be alive. I need a drink to be alive. I need to go out to be alive. I need a new wig to be alive. I need a new husband to be alive. Right? Not needing anything outside of myself to be alive, but just waking up in the morning and feeling alive. And not just alive, awesomely alive. And there are many people that are walking around this globe that feel that way. Many. Come on in. Tiva makes a grand entrance. So there are many, many, many people that wake up in the morning every single day and they're feeling really, really awesome about life. And they don't take any anti-medications, antidepressants. They don't take any pills. They don't require anything outside of themselves to give them that. To give them that like feeling of awesome, alive. Because if you think about it, we're here on this planet, even though we don't realize it, especially with Botox, like who needs to realize it? It's all like, I'm always young, I'm always gonna be young, everything is cool. Right? Because like when you don't get Botox, I'm on the fence by the way, but when you don't get Botox, right? When you don't get Botox, then every time you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh, there's another one. Hi. Hi. God. Right? Because what does it mean? It means like time's ticking. Time's ticking and life is moving. And all of a sudden like I'm by these social get-togethers where I go speak and sometimes I have to come early for like a dinner party or for something, and I have to do all the like, hi, what's your name? Hi, what's your name? All the stuff I hate doing, right? And the small talk and the socializing, and I get this all the time. And I don't know when this started. I think it started like a year or two ago. But like, oh, Deborah, how old are you, by the way? I'm 34. No, you look so good. 34? I thought you were like 26. No, I'm 34. Really? Wow. You're almost 35. Like, yeah. Good, okay. So, yeah. Right? Like, all of a sudden I started realizing like 34 is like old. And I'm like, oh, you are 34 because you don't look 30. What does 34 look like? You know? So and like, right? And so what's the thing? Why did I get lost here? Oh, back to this. The concept is very, very simple once we understand it. And once we understand it, We can understand it about our husbands, we can understand it about our kids, we can understand it about every human being. That when we are trying to fill our nefesh, and the nefesh is the life force. What's the nefesh? The nefesh part of me is the part of me that feels, sometimes I feel sad and I don't know why I'm sad. Sometimes I cry, I don't know why I'm crying. Sometimes I'm just feeling unhappy. I wake up in the morning and I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to be anything to anyone. I don't want to get his shoes, dress him, put that on him. I don't know if anyone is like that in the room, but I am. Sometimes I don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't know what's wrong. What is wrong with me? Why am I not happy? Look at all the things that I have in my life. Oh my goodness. Like blessings, 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 blessings. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. This is like seriously my BFF. Like it's a prayer of thanks. Because like, come on, I don't want to be one of those kids that's just like, like, I'll smack you. Okay? Smack you. Like, the kids that are just like, no matter what you do for them, they complain. I don't want to be one of those people to God. I don't want to just like, every time I talk to him, it's when I need him. I want to also be like, thank you so much. I'm healthy. Baruch Hashem, this whole week since I moved in, I've been so sick. I've been like seriously Googling like the worst things ever. Like, you would know when you're like, I'm dying. No, I've had dark nights since I moved in here. Seriously, like dark, lonely nights. I'm like, I feel so sick and it's not going away. Ask Ricky. Ricky had just walked into my life at the wrong time. That's all. Sorry, I will be better. This will be better. So I don't want to be one of those people, right? So I want to, but why? So I'm trying to be like, thank you, my life is awesome, my kids are healthy, everything is good, we have a roof over our heads, we have food, everything is good, I'm healthy, I have a job, like, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, and yet, sometimes Alicia will be like, my son will be like, Ima, smile, like, right, thank you, right? Because like, I can go hours, like, not smiling. Why? And then I'll have this whole like staring contest in the mirror, like, why are you not smiling? Why are you not smiling? Why not smile? Right? Why? Because there's an internal world going on the inside. And if you poo-poo this away, and you poo-poo that away, and this one said something to you that really like ouched you, and you're just like, and all of a sudden like you feel like uncomfortable or awkward, or you feel stupid, or you feel like people are talking about you or something happened, and you're just like, and you're just like pushing all of these things like, it's not a big deal, right? And you're like poo-pooing everything, like everything is fine, let me just go get a manicure, because that's going to make me feel better, right? Then what happens is that all of a sudden we wake up and we're just like, not happy, even though our nails are shiny and beautiful, not happy. So point number 1, fundamental in life, crucial forever. And we're so lucky we know this, and we're so lucky we're privy to this information. It's like beyond. And once we understand this, it's like, you're like, wow, I'm so lucky I know this. Number 1 is, who am I and what am I? Because if I am feeding this thing with externalities, with more stuff, and more stuff, and more stuff, and just stuff, and stuff, and stuff. You know what? I'm unhappy. Let me go shopping. You know what? I'm unhappy. I need a vacation. You know what? I'm unhappy. I need to go out. You know what? I'm unhappy. I need a new hairdo. Right? If I'm feeding this thing just with externalities, this thing will always come back empty. Will always come back asking for more. Will always come back unhappy. Okay, so you have your 15 bags of Bloomingdale's, new shoes, new clothes, new bag, everything, no budget. It's all good. It's on the house. You come back, you go out to your favorite restaurant, you fly in here or wherever. There was a certain point in my life where I went from no money to tons, like overnight. I'm not going to go into details. Tons. Like, kicked my old apartment goodbye, like a day I was out, left all my stuff there, moved into like a penthouse in Yerushalayim, had like masses of birthright groups in my house, like every single Shabbos, like seriously, like 50 people, and I was all organic, all vegan. I used to make like these crazy meals, like all organic vegan, can you imagine? No chicken, no meat, no fish, like insane. These people would come over, oh, you're vegan? And they would leave like, oh my gosh, amazing. Like crazy salads, crazy dips, crazy challahs, crazy desserts, crazy stuff. Tons of people in my house, living in a gorgeous house. Everything. I went traveling, tickets, clothing, whatever. And then I would always wake up to the same person in the morning, and it was me. I was never satiated. There was always a hunger. There was always like a, but now what? Okay, but now what? I want more, like it's not good. So I'm gonna give it to you now, alright? Built it up enough, I'm gonna give it to you. Our nefesh has nefesh food. Our body has body food. Our body has body requirements. We have to take care of our teeth, dental hygiene. We have to take care of our bodies, personal hygiene. We have to get clothing. We have to get Shabbos clothing. We have to be able to have a home with everything that we need in our home: air conditioning, electricity, food, washing machine to have clean clothes. We need a car to get around. We need to have jobs to pay for all this stuff, right? That is all in the realm of what this body needs in this world in order to get around, in order to be a vehicle for life. And in addition to that, eating healthy food and taking care of our body and taking care of our homes and taking care of all the things, because that is all very, at the same time, while it's very physical, it's also very spiritual. It's getting us to where we need to get to. But what happens, and especially nowadays, is that the whole internal aspect, the whole me aspect, the whole nefesh aspect of us is like totally not even counted. Not even counted. You are successful, welcome, based on, and only based on, how much money you make, how you look, how your house looks, right? That is what makes you a successful person. That is all that makes you a successful person. And the reason that we're sucked into this matrix, and I'm going to say that a lot, and you're going to hear me saying that a lot, because we live in the matrix. So you have a choice. You either open the door for the matrix and be like, take me, and it will take you. It will take you. It will so take you. It will so take over you to the details of life, of what's right and what's wrong, what's yes and what's not. Like, you can't be fat. You always have to be skinny. Let's just call a spade, because that's what's beautiful. Not that fat is healthy, but I'm just saying. But then we have a girl that we're raising money for now, right? That the thought has been so dug into her being from being a little girl. Of she has to look beautiful and she has to look pretty, and what pretty looks like and what beautiful looks like. And it was so pronounced in every magazine that she looked at and everything that she ever saw, that the waist is this size, that she became sick from it, and her life is in danger because of it. So yeah, fat is not good, but yeah, 1 second, health is the most important, not skinny. And we're talking to a friend, and she's like, I don't care about health. I don't care about it. All I care about is being skinny. I don't care about health. If it were up to me, I would drink a gallon of canola oil every day. This is like a normal, from girl. She lives in Yerushalayim. Like, I didn't even have anything to say back. I was just like, okay, I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry. Because people that are in the hospital today, people that are lying in hospital beds today, connected to all these machines and oxygen or whatever, would give anything to be you. Anything to be you. And you're just like, I don't care about health, I just want to be skinny. That is the epitome, that is the total manifestation of that kind of thinking, that kind of concept. And she's being real. And I appreciated the fact that you said that. Because she's being real. Like, let's not kid ourselves. That is the utmost, number one, top priority. Every female, unless she's like living in the hood, in the ghetto, and has no money to feed her children, right? That's what we think about. The way we look, and how skinny we are, and how smashy our skin is. Right? My mother still stands in the mirror. If only I was like this. One time, many years ago, I was like this. I was like, Ima, your age shows your wisdom, what you've gone through. Yeah. I want to be like this. I want them to cut this, open this, stretch this, take it out. I'm like, oh my god, right? Because that's all. That's the value. Those are the values, right? Because what's going on in our, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that what's going on? What's the thinking pattern? If I look like that, then I'll be happy. The reason my life sucks right now is because I don't look like that. The reason my life sucks right now is because I don't have that money. The reason my life is like this right now is because I'm not married. The reason my life is like this right now is because I have a child that I want to throw off the porch. The reason I have my life is because I have a husband I want to throw off the porch. The reason my life is like this right now, and we all have our reasons, and we fill in our blanks, that my life is the way it is right now. So my mother's like this, and we're like something else, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If I have this, then everything will be fine. So the whole world outside everyone is chasing. Make it to the top of the chain. Be the number one. Make millions. Selfies all over the globe. Make sure you're in Italy. Make sure you're in Switzerland. Make sure you're everywhere. Make sure everyone knows about it. And when I came to Florida 2 years ago on vacation, I was in a hotel. Sometimes I get like stunned at people and I just stand and I stare at them and then they're like, excuse me, I'm like, I'm so sorry because I don't have, sometimes I'm tactless. It comes with being Israeli, I think. So, so if you see me doing that to you sometimes, just walk by me. So I was standing outside of the hotel. I walked outside of the hotel and this girl, I'm not exaggerating, full face of makeup. She was beautiful. It happens to be she was stunning. And like her hair was like done. And she was standing by this like pretty coconut tree, right? Okay. She was like this. She was standing in front of this coconut tree by the hotel, so she had like this beautiful like background behind her, and she was wearing her PJs. She was wearing her PJs, but like she was wearing like a tank top that like was like a pajama tank top and like sweatpants, right? But like all she took a picture of was the top, and she was like. Right? Like that, right? And I was just like staring at her, like, what you gonna do? And she walked to the next tree, and she walked to the next lamppost, and she just like took pictures, and for sure her Facebook said something like, having the best time, and like, Florida, 2009, or whatever that was, right? And then she like turned around, she took her phone, she stuck it in her pocket, and she went upstairs, and she was walking in, she like lit a cigarette, and she like looked all like, what do I do now? Yeah? Oh my gosh! So let's steer clear of becoming that way, because that's the matrix. The matrix is calm. All that's important is how you look, how you come across, how perfect your life is, right? Never sound like you don't have it together. Always make sure you have it together. Always look like everything is no piece of cake. It's nothing. Oh, this? Nothing. Right? Always make sure it always looks just right. And in the Frum community, we suffer from this so much. Instead of being people that are like, why are we from? What's being from about? Being from is not just about getting these cool things and wearing them under our heads. Because if it were up to all of us, we would like toss them, right? It's that we're walking the walk, we're talking the talk, and if we're already walking the walk and talking the talk, it's supposed to come with a whole like purpose, a whole statement. It's supposed to be making a statement with how we're living our lives. And the statement is, be real. Doesn't mean that I have to be vulnerable and all over the place and like I don't know how to get things together and my life is falling apart and please someone come and help me and save me. No, but this over-obsession that we've totally adopted from the outside world of making sure that everything is just so. And Baruch Hashem, right? Baruch Hashem. And if somebody tells you, oh my gosh, I'm falling apart, and you're like, oh, bless your heart. I'm so sorry. And I give them that look like, right? That happens to me all the time, by the way. She feels so bad for me. I feel like I can be real with someone, and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally falling apart. And they're like, I have to go get my child. They're like, no, I was talking about before. Not now. Today I'm fine. Everything's good. Excellent. Okay. So really, the idea is like, if you have a car and this car runs on gasoline and you try to shove diesel into it, the car will stall. So when you are a person and you understand that you have a nefesh, and this nefesh has needs, real needs, and you don't need to be able to like understand yourself. You need to be able to feed this part of yourself and not just put it on the back burner. And not just be like, let me feed you with another trip. Let me feed you with another thing, right? If we understand that we need gasoline and not diesel, because our nefesh needs gasoline, our body needs diesel. But what our body needs is not enough to fill us on a real internal experience here. So if we ever want to be happy, we have to love ourselves. And I bet you that we don't love ourselves. Because loving yourself means really, how would you love a child? How would you love a child? If your child was able to verbalize it to you and say, you know what, Ima, Mommy, you know what I need? If your child, our children can't say it because they don't have the tools, and that's why they act out, and that's why they're bratty, and that's why they're angry, and that's why. But if they were able to say, you know what I need? I need you and Daddy to hang out only with me, not with all the other kids. Only with me for like 10 minutes every day on the phone, on the floor, without your phone. I just want you to listen to my shtusim, and listen to my like, the dinosaur ran into the building, and I want you to be there. That's all I want from you. I just want you to pay attention to me and my world and my life and my internal, even though I sound so dumb and so immature and so stupid. Right? But our kids don't know how to say that because they don't know they need that. So what do? I want this. I want that ISIS. Okay, sweetheart, here. Oh, okay. Oh no, you're going to be bored. Shalom. Let's go Target quickly. Let's buy you stuff. Quickly, let's take you here. Quickly, let's take you there. Quickly, let's entertain you. Quickly. And kids don't know how to be able to sit still and just entertain themselves and take care of themselves. Why? Where's the need coming from? It's coming from a need of, I need someone to see me, to love me, to listen to me, to explain to me, to give me the time of day. And what do we feed them with? What do we shove into them? Another chocolate bar, another trip, another vacation, another $10. Here, go to canteen. Here, go in with your friends. Here, do this. Let's go here. Let's go there. And then the kid comes out and is just like, hate it. Not fun. You're the worst mom. You're like, where's my gun? Where's my rifle? Did I leave it? Right? Because that's what we're doing to ourselves. How do you love a child? You love a child by seeing them. By seeing their drawing and looking at the drawing and seeing like the colors that they picked and the shapes that they drew. Be like, you drew this? What does this over here mean? Like, what is this color? This color is stunning. What is he doing over here? Not just like, oh, beautiful, look everyone, what Aaron did. Let's hang it on the thing. Okay, who wants macaroni and cheese? And keep going on this insane marathon that we're like on for where are we going? Where are we running? Right? And we ourselves are children. We ourselves are children. So how do you love yourself? By listening. By listening to yourself. And what does listening to yourself mean? If you're sad, if you're happy, if you're dreamy and you want things, if you're emotional, if you feel like life is coming apart and you don't know how to handle it, if you're whatever it is, you're listening. And if you don't know how to listen, you go to therapy. And you tend to self. And the point that I want to leave you off with tonight is a huge point. And this is the point that I wanted to say here that I'm not one of these people that are like, you know, all your problems, take care of in therapy, and therapists are going to solve all your issues. Not at all. I'm not one of these people that are like, you know, dump all your issues into someone's lap and tell them to fix it. Here, I'm paying you money, fix it. That's another symptom of the matrix. I'm paying you money, make it happen, make it work. Fix me, give me tips and techniques, let me figure this out. I'm giving you 6 weeks, fix me. We have to get that we are a child. We are a child, and the way we love ourselves is by paying attention to ourselves. And if you don't want to walk out, if you don't feel like walking out with makeup on today, and you don't feel so happy-go-lucky today, and you don't feel so don't. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside of you, it doesn't matter what people are going to say, or what people are going to think, or all the raised eyebrows, or whatever it is. If you don't want to, listen to yourself. Sometimes I do it to my children. Sometimes I'm like, quickly, like going to shul in the morning, like, you have to wear this, and you have to put it in, and you have to tuck it in, and you have to this, and you have to that. No, not that yarmulke, this yarmulke, those shoes. And he's like, my 6-year-old, he's like, Ima, you be beautiful. I don't want to be beautiful. Let me be comfortable. I'm like, no, you have to be beautiful. And then all of a sudden I'm like, fixing him and tucking him, and I'm like, and he's like, he's so unhappy. And then I understand what I'm doing. And I'm like, sweetheart, whatever yarmulke you want to wear, whatever people say, if the kids think you're weird, it's all good. Go. Be you. Be human. Feel good. And it's really, really important to know that. I want to, before we end, I just want to say something huge that changed my life. So you're not leaving until you hear this. Okay? Okay. I don't care if your babysitters are leaving. Here we go. Ready? Ready? Come out of your comfort zone. Say yes!
Yeah!
Good! Thank you! Yeah, oh, I knew that was you. Okay, I don't even have to look up. Okay, so here. I'm only here a week. What's going to happen in 3 months from now? Okay, so here we go. Okay, there's this whole thing in the world today, very much out there, very, very, very famous thing that everyone's all into, all the like, you know, everyone that's like into any kind of philosophy or any kind of like self-help or any kind of thing, very into power of, anyone? Attraction. Okay, power of attraction is that, am I saying the power of attraction? I'm talking about the power of attraction. Yeah, the power of attraction. You ever heard of the book or the movie The Secret?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Mm-hmm. One person? Wow.
I watched it in college.
Yeah. Okay. So like there's like this whole development and this whole discovery recently amongst our neighbors out there in the world, something called the power of attraction, where they realized and they studied, okay, and it's scientifically proven that there's a force in the world, and it's the force of attraction, which means, and they break it down, I'm just going to give it to you in a nutshell, that whatever you think and whatever you say, you affirm. And once you think it and you say it, you attract it. You think it and you say it, you attract it. It's called the power of attraction. You can go home and you can watch The Secret. It's on Netflix documentaries. You can watch it. Power of attraction. It's all there. It's called The Secret, okay? And they have this whole thing, and they have reverends talking about it, and scientists talking about it, and philosophers talking about it, and doctors talking about it, and all these people talking about this concept of the power of attraction and how it's really, really real. And how when you think something, you automatically attract it into your life. And it happens slowly, but you attract it into your life. So there's this doctor, his name is Carl Jung, okay? And Carl Jung was like one of these like very famous philosophers, and he said there's something called synchronicity. Okay, and the reason I'm bringing them in is because I wanna explain something very big, and because I want you to walk away understanding that if you have a car that's diesel or if you have a car that's gasoline, you can't feed it the other thing and expect it to run. Okay, can't feed yourself X and expect it to run when you really need Y. So we're learning right now what Y is. We're learning right now how to feed yourself Y so you can really step on the pedal and accelerate in your life and expand spiritually and emotionally, and your whole being on the inside expands. Because on the outside you can look like a perfect model or a perfect whatever. Everything has got good together. But you're very, 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 very sad and very, very unhappy. And we see it in the world, and we see it in Hollywood. All the people that hit the top, they make the millions. Their faces are everywhere. They're on everything, right? They're the most depressed and the most sad and they're running towards, everyone is running for, a rat race for, money and fame and to be known and all that stuff, and they're so miserable and they're so sad. So once they hit the top, they're so sad. Why? Because you cannot be, as a human being, you cannot just be 50% you. You have another 50% that, if you don't tend to, becomes anorexic. Very, 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 very needy, very, very, very starving, very, very, very sad, very, 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 very depressed, very, very miserable. And that's why we have so many kids today. There are so many kids. There are how many kids? In the last 10 days, we had 5 kids overdosing, from kids, overdosing and dying. What are they looking for? What are they searching for? What are people that are going out to, what? There's this emptiness, this gaping hole of like nothing is making me happy. Another car, another this, another that, another house, another whatever. It's not making me happy. Because we're happiness junkies. We know that, right? We're happiness junkies. We need happiness. That's how Hashem made us. We need happiness. So he says like this, something called synchronicity. What is synchronicity? When you think of something specific, suddenly you start noticing it everywhere. Have you ever had it? You think about someone, all of a sudden she calls you. You're like, oh my gosh, that happened to me today by the pool. Like the second I thought about her, she called me. It was like freaky. Happens all the time. Do you notice it? Do you see it?
Yeah.
You think about someone, all of a sudden you're walking down 41st or you're walking down wherever, and all of a sudden you see them, and you're like, hey, right? I was just thinking about you. I was just talking about you. Right? So David Pitt is a famous physicist, and he says, it is not possible for synchronicity to be coincidental because so many people experience it. It's something that everyone that walks this planet experiences. So what is it? So one second. So if the Goyim are saying this, and they're all obsessed with this, and there's tons of self-help books on this, and the power of attraction, the power of attraction, the power of attraction, and they make movies about it, and everyone's like all riled up about it. So one second. We have everything. Everything comes from the original source of all is Torah. So wait, what does Torah say about this? And when I researched this, I spent like 4 months researching the power of thoughts. And when I researched this, I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Listen to this. Likutei Maharan, Sicha Nun Gimel, says like this, Renachman. Only now it's become known to me. This is 230 years ago. Gadol ikrat hamachshava, how huge the power of thoughts are. שהמחשבה יקרה מאוד מאוד, שנעשים ממנה דברים, that the machshava, that a person's thoughts are so crucial, שנעשים ממנה דברים ומשלימים ממש שיש להם קיום. And we literally create things with our thoughts. We literally create things with our thoughts. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Translate how sorry.
Yeah, I'm translating. We're literally creating realities with our thoughts. He says, Kiyum mamash, things that are real, like things that you can hold in your hand, right? With the power of your thoughts. When I researched this even more, and I went into Zohars, and I went deeply into this concept, it's a force that we were given, a spiritual force, okay? That we can't see, and we can't touch, but you can't see my words either, and you can't touch my words either. And you're all here, and you're all listening. Speech is something spiritual. Only human beings have it. No other creation has it. Speech is spiritual. You can't hold it, you can't grasp it, and it's here. Thoughts are the same. Thoughts are you can't hold them, you can't grasp them, but they're here. But 1 second. There's a whole documentary that just came out, and I can get it for you if you want to see it. It's a TED Talk. A scientist found a way to scan the human brain, and every single time a person thinks anything, it's almost like a shot goes off in his head, like a spark. And he says, right now he's thinking, and you see a spark going off in his head, a spark, and when he thinks the same things over and over and over and over again, this is the scientific aspect of it, I'm going to just run through this for a second. When we think the same thoughts over and over and over and over again, I'm not successful, I'm never going to pass, I'm never going to get there, I'm never going to do it, I'm never going to get married, I'm never going to have children, I'm never going to be healthy, whatever it is, I think the same thing over and over, or my child is never going to, or my husband is never going to, or my mom, oh my mom, right? And I think the same thing over and over and over again. It literally creates reality. It creates reality. Listen to this. That שיש סגולות גדולות במחשבות בני אדם שיכולים לפעול מה שהם חושבים על ידי מחשבתם. He says like this, he says, just know that your thoughts יכולים לפעול, they create, לפעול, how do you say לפעול? To activate through their thoughts, through their thinking. ואפילו ההיכרות בעולם באה על ידי מחשבתם. And even inflation in the world comes from people's thinking patterns. Comes from people's thinking patterns. The reason the world looks like it does today, and we're like, oh my gosh, people are so low. Like, immorality today is so, like, it's like gross. Like, what people are discussing, doing, like, everything is like, yeah, it's all good. Talk about whatever, do whatever, be whatever. It's all good. Flaunt it, do it, say it, experience it, say it out loud. I went with my cousin. She's like, you've never been to South Beach? Okay, Tori, you're retarded. I'm picking you up in 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. So this was like 4 weeks ago. She picked me up. She takes me to South Beach. And she's like, okay, listen, there are amazing places here. I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, okay, so nice, Florida. Right? I had a traumatic evening. She's like, there's this place, it's like this cute little lounge. She knew what words to use, right? This lounge, and it's like, it's called something like losing my religion or something. I'm like, great, love it, let's go. So we park our car and we walk for like 20 minutes to get to this place, right? And we're talking and walking and whatever. And hi Susie, if you're watching. And all of a sudden, like, there's this guy by the door, right? And she's like, you have your license? I'm like, yeah. Now you have to know, I never walked into a club, a bar. I know a lot of things, not from being. I just don't like, sleazy places, like whatever. So I'm like taking out my New York driver's license, and I'm like, and he's just like, okay, go. And I'm about to walk in. As I'm about to walk in, like I'm walking in, and I'm like seeing things, I basically saw men dressed as women, and women dressed as men, and high heels, and open blouses completely, and I made a U-turn, and I bumped into her, and she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm not staying in here, and I ran out, and as I ran out, like a whole chevra came in, of like, literally not dressed at all, people, like, there's nothing, and I had like a huge shock. I was like, are people really that's what's, wow. Like, I get it on the beach, but like, wow, it's night, right? And I realized that, like, because there's nowhere else to go, you have to keep digging and digging and digging, because like now it's like when we were growing up, it was like weird to like stay pregnant. And today, like, you have these Yaakov girls, like, their teacher walks into the room and they're like, are you pregnant? And like I had my students say that to me when I taught them, and I was like, how can you even say that to me? Like, how are you, you're like a bisat, like, you know better. And they're like, what's wrong, right? Because it's so deep, right? And the world, there's a collective consciousness in the world, and that's what he's saying over here. There's a collective consciousness to the point where inflation can become a reality through people's thoughts, the way they think. And listen to this. This is amazing. The Paleoids writes like this. He says, "L'machshava yesh koach hamoshech." The machshava, our thoughts, have this force, this life force, has a koach shemoshech, that pulls. Shema she'adam mitmaked bo, whatever a person focuses on and thinks about, hu moshech al atzmo latov or l'ra. He brings it, he pulls it into his reality, for good or for bad. For good or for bad. If you, God forbid, are always thinking, my kid's going to drown, God forbid, right? Guess what? God forbid. Right? Or anything. I happen to be one of these people that have to work on these things all the time. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Right? You see me as well, I'm psycho. Right? I have such a hard time, like, breathe, because I have to constantly align myself back to, no, he's doing well, it's good, he's going to be a swimmer, training my thoughts to go where I want them to go, and not to have a knee-jerk reaction to go where my fears are. And that's the idea. One more chazal, and then we're going to wrap up. He says like this, Gemara says, here we go, we know this, the way a person wants to go, and that way he's directed. The Maharsha, he says like this, b'derech she'adam rotzeh lelech, and the way a person wants to go in his life, the way he wants to live his life, molichin. So what's molichin? Molichin are escorts. Like when you have two escorts that escort you, right? So he says that literally there are spiritual forces wherever you want, where you desire, you have, your thoughts are there, where you want to go, you have spiritual forces and escorts, malachim, that guide you in that direction, that take you there. Your thoughts are in your capacity, we have the capacity to control our thoughts. When we are in panic-stricken, terrified, fearful, feeling bad for ourselves, feeling empty, feeling gross, feeling stupid, feeling unsuccessful. When we're in those places, it's because we let our thoughts run wild. And thoughts that run wild are like vicious dogs that run wild. And our thoughts are magnets. Tweet that, write that on your fridge, glue that to your brain. Your thoughts are magnets. What you think about, what you focus on, what you entertain, you attract. You want your kid to grow, you want your kid to be better, you want your kid to be a happy kid, you don't want him to be so bitter and so angry and so whatever. Think those things about him. Don't think, he's so this, he's so that. Because you know what? It's going to keep happening. See the potential in him. See where he's going to grow. Envision it. The more you envision it in your mind, the more you see it in the mind, the more it gets clear in your mind, the more you're going to attract it. That is part one for this evening. We are a build-up, we are a makeup of a nefesh. Our nefesh is made up of three things: thoughts, how we think, how we express ourselves, and what we bottom line, do. That is our nefesh. And when we can get a hold of our nefesh, and we can get an understanding of our nefesh, our whole life gets realigned. Because it's like a car. And if you don't align this car every so often, it's going to go off the rails. Our thoughts, number one, homework till next week class. Show up for next week class.
Birthday.
I'll tell you in a minute. I don't know. But I'll be here. Second piece of homework till next week class. Second piece of homework. Okay. I'm going to be your kick your booty, get in your face, change your life. Okay? Because nothing is going to give it to you. It's never going to just happen. Understand that, right? Your life is never going to get better just because you are now wealthier, or your kids now have gotten older, or there's going to be problems. Every time you turn a page in your life, there's going to be a new set of issues. There's going to be a new set of issues. So they grow up and they get married, so now there's a new set of issues. But that's life, and that's what's awesome about life. Because we're supposed to be warriors, and we're supposed to be able to navigate. And we can't navigate if we don't have tools. So part two of this homework, of this week's homework, is you have a week right now to train your dragon. Train your dragon. Not the movie. Train your thoughts. Put your thoughts where you want them to be. Think what you want. Don't think what you don't want. Don't go into your fears. Don't get sucked into the matrix. Don't go into a place of, oh my gosh, I have a wrinkle. Don't go into a place of, I feel awful, but let me just. Not the outside. Let's step away from all the exterior stuff that we think really make a difference and move into the interior. And the interior is, put your thoughts where you want them to be. Attract what you want to attract. Step away from your fears. Step into a place of, you want to be strong, you want to be confident, you want to feel beautiful. Then move into a place of, I am strong, I am confident, I am beautiful. And one more tip for self-love before I let you go. I have 10 tips, but I'm going to give you one. Okay? Stop all self-criticism. All self-criticism. I'm okay as I am, and I can make changes. I'm good. I'm okay. Think of yourself as your child. The way we talk to ourselves is awful. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. All day, all day, all day, all day, all day, putting ourselves down without even realizing in our minds. I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not a good enough wife, I'm not a good enough mother, I'm not a good enough money maker. I don't accomplish enough. And that's what we think pushes us. But it doesn't push us. It's like a kid that you criticize all day. It's okay, you could do better. All day. It's okay, you could do better. We don't even say it's okay to ourselves. We just say, do better. Go to the gym already. What's wrong with you? Why are you eating that? Why do you talk that way? Why did you say that? You're so stupid. Why did you even talk to her about that? We beat ourselves up. So this week, no beating, building. If you want to build them, you want to build your marriage, you want to build your lives, you got to build yourself. So no beating, train your dragon, show up for next week's class. And wait, I had one more thing to tell you. I forgot. Be beautiful. The only way to be beautiful is if you believe that you're beautiful. You don't tell yourself, I need this and this and this and this and this to be beautiful. Okay? Give yourself love, give yourself attention, and that's the only way you're going to ever be able to truly have any kind of relationship with anyone that's effective and good and loving and strong and stable and happy. Okay? Love you.